Hello, I'm Ben. Welcome to the channel. So I wanted to do the video today to start the week off. I haven't done any videos since last week, but Trump kind of had a big weekend, and the world's a crazy place, and I always want to go to the Bible and send people to the Bible when things are going like they are. And to dive into it, you'll see the thumbnail. The first picture on the thumbnail is a picture that Trump himself posted, and it was him over a patient with his hand on the patient's head and a light coming from his hand as if he himself, Donald Trump, was healing this guy. And Trump has a way of surrounding himself right now with folks that are not of really favorable repute. He's got a pastor that's a female, and she if you've watched any of her videos on YouTube or online, you can see that she's a crook. She's an absolute phony. And then he's got another lady that's in his ear that goes after everyone that speaks negatively of him. And she has herself been put in an asylum multiple times by her own family. And these two people are in the ear of literally one of the most powerful people on the face of the earth. So, he went from having a cabinet that looked incredible. It looked like people were going to be doing things that they had a great deal of knowledge about. And it looked like he was going to be set up for success based on the wisdom he had around him. But what you'll start to see is people have started to resign and move themselves away from him. And that's something that I think is going to be a little more rapid in occurring here in the next year. So long story short, he deleted the photo that he posted in the middle of the night of him as Christ healing someone, and then gave an explanation of that he thought it was a picture of him as a doctor. And then he said, because we're healing people. We're healing a lot of people. We're healing people. And so I don't know really what he's talking about there when he's talking about healing people. They're bombing or assisting Israel in bombing people at the moment. Israel has attacked Lebanon, which is a Christian nation right next to it, has killed over 1,000 of the Lebanese citizens, all of which are Christians, and has leveled homes of the Lebanese folks there. And there's some pictures that are starting to be published, some in Italy, of these Israeli soldiers mocking and tormenting people as they destroy their families and destroy their homes. And anyone saying anything to this is labeled an anti-Semite. And so let's be clear. The Bible, when it talks about God's chosen people, that was of the Israel nation, the people that were alive at the time that would lead to the line of David, which Jesus Christ himself came from. That's how they were the chosen people. The state of Israel and the people that live in it today, those are not what the Bible is talking about. Some of them are the offspring of those Israelites, but there are many of the true Israelites spread across the world that come from those bloodlines as well. Israel, the state, is something that we set up post-World War II. And the thing that bothers me the most about Trump, and the reason I'm saying this, is I voted for the guy. I believe that he was going to get us out of these endless wars. I believe what he said. I mean, they ran as the folks for peace. He ran on the Christian ticket. The fact that he's got this Paula woman in his ear proves that he is not a Christian, that he has had no thought about that. The fact that he's closed the Epstein files and is protecting pedophiles proves that he's not a Christian. And if you're behind Trump blindly and not seeing these things and don't see what is of the devil, then I will remind you of what is said in Matthew. And these words are in red, which means Jesus Christ himself spoke them. And he said, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, which means they're sitting on the seat of law, and they therefore, whatsoever they do observe, that they observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. So basically, they're saying the rules, but they're not living up to it. They're making other people live up to it and observing them and acting as if they're holier than thou. Does that sound familiar? For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders. But they themselves will not move them not with even one of their fingers. So they put heavy weight on other people, but don't assist in any way, shape, or form. But all of their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments. So basically, they make themselves look bigger. They're pompous. Look at me, look at me. They do it all to be seen by men, none to be done because they care or they're doing the right thing, just to be seen. That's verse 5. This is Matthew chapter 23. That's verse 5. Verse 6 says, and love and the uppermost rooms and feast is where they love to be in the uppermost rooms of feast. They like to be in the chief seats of the synagogues to show how important they are. And greetings in the markets, and they like men to teach them, to call them rather teacher, teacher, rabbi, rabbi. But be not called rabbi, for one is your master. For not one is your master. So it says, don't call these people teachers, because not one is their master, or not one is your master, rather. It says, even Christ's. They're not even treating Jesus with respect. Even Christ and all ye brethren. All call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, in Christ. But he that is the greatest among you shall be your servant. Whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, which is humbled. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For you neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. So basically saying you live in the kingdom of men, you're not going into heaven, and you're suffering those that will. Comes straight out of the Bible, guys. Matthew chapter 23, that's verse 2 through 13 that I just read. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, which means humbled, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So let me ask you a question about Donald Trump. Does he look like he exalts himself much? And you may say, well, Ben, he's always been that way. I don't think it's ever been as bad as it is now. I think at times when he had MAGA, which was Make America Great Again, people really thought that he would attempt to do that, but he turned out to be just another politician. So what he's shown, folks, is what a lot of us have known all along. The right and the left are the same. There is no improvement to politicians. They all are what they are. This gentleman had the opportunity, though, because he's 80 years old. His life is pretty much over for the most part. He's 79. And he had the opportunity to have these last 4 years be something amazing. I would suggest if you want more information on some of these things that he's doing, that you watch Candace Owens' program. She does amazing work, and she supports everything she says, guys, with documentation, which is not common these days. When I was a young man, we had better news. It was investigative reporting, and people found documentation and had proof, and that was what we saw. That doesn't happen anymore. So she's one of those rare people that does that now. She and Tucker Carlson and those folks actually supported Trump and helped him get elected. And now he's turned on them and turned on his base, which is the Christian base, seeing himself as Jesus Christ, even though he definitely is not that, siding with people who are killing Christians in open warfare against a country that's not even engaged with them. I just don't see any end of that. Good is good, evil is evil. The two are not the same. If you see someone doing evil things, especially doing the 7 things that God hates, then you may want to consider that when you're thinking about favor. But I wanted to give you some verses from the Bible in this so you know that it's not just speculation. It's not, God tells us how to handle these things. It says that he will be humbled. Those around him will be humbled the same way. I pray that it's not before, too many people in Lebanon and Christians around the world are tormented by Israel, and Israel has our support right now, so that makes them very powerful, and they're trying to become a world power themselves. It's clear. They're trying to expand their borders. That's clear. That's not something America wants to participate in, and it's not something we wanted to get into. So I'd imagine that hopefully he keeps saying the war's going to be at an end, war's going to be at an end. The most embarrassing thing is this cat will not get off of social media. He keeps posting things and makes everyone that voted for him look like an idiot and makes himself look like the biggest idiot. But at the end of the day, he's definitely not showing a Christ-like concern for anyone, and he's definitely not trying to emulate Christ in how he's doing things. And if he does not humble himself, he will be humbled. How do I know? Because the Bible tells me so. Please be patient with the world. Keep praying. Everything's going to be okay. Christ is king. He's on the throne. We will get through this just like we get through everything else. If you like subject matter such as this and videos such as these, please like, please subscribe, please share if you think someone might get something from this or enjoy this content. I'm Ben. Be good.